What's up, guys? This is Rich, and today on What the Tech, we're going to take a look at how to do the installation on the Bolt M for SRS. Let's get started. Before we get started, we're going to need to gather a couple tools. So first of all, we want to get some gun salve or other silicone-based lubricant. Then we're going to want to get a drill with a 3/16 inch drill bit approximately. It can be a little different size. It's not super critical. We just need clearance for the airline. And then next, we're going to need either a Dremel or a saw or something that we can cut a slot here with. Dremel is the easiest thing, but you can use various things in a pinch. So let's go ahead and jump in and see what we have to do. So as you can see, we've already disassembled everything here. We're not going to go over how to disassemble the SRS in this video, as there are plenty of videos showing how to do that. In addition, you'll notice that the modifications have already been done. So we're just going to be talking about what those modifications were. It's pretty straightforward, but as you can see, we have the 3 butt pad plates here. This is the first plate, second plate, and then the butt pad. Okay, don't have to do anything with that. But these two here, we have small modifications to. Let's start with the first plate. First plate has the larger hole cut out in it, and what we need to do is we need to cut a slot that's approximately 3/16 wide and about 1 inch long, from straight down from the center, as you can see here. What this is going to do is it's going to make clearance for our airline to sit right like that. The exact dimensions are not super critical, but you want about no less than 4 millimeters wide. Again, for you people working in millimeters, or about 3/16 for those of you working in inches. And you want it about 1 inch to a little over 1 inch, or 25 millimeters, from the bottom edge of the hole down to the bottom of the slot. Easiest way to do that is with a Dremel, but you could also use a hacksaw or something like that if you need to clear that material. It's just plastic, so it's easy to cut. The next thing we're going to need to do is the second plate. We need to drill a hole approximately 3/16 of an inch. Right, and what we're going to use as a guide is the 2 braces on the back here. We're going to drill right in the corner of the brace there. Again, size is not super critical. All we're doing with that is it allows us to disassemble the unit more easily once it's installed. So those are your modifications there. And then the last thing that you're going to need to do is going to be to take that same drill, and we're going to need to drill a hole for our airline. Now that is going to go right in this location here. You can simply drill straight through the wall all the way through. Now, you could also, if you wanted to, cut a track sort of on the side of the wall here, but I find it's easier to simply drill a hole straight through. And that's it as far as modifications, so it's pretty straightforward. Now let's talk about the engine itself. Those of you that have seen our Bolt M for VSR, this will look very familiar. It shares a lot of parts. The center shaft is from the VSR or Bar 10 engine, as is the cylinder, and the cylinder head actually is the same as the cylinder head that we use on the Striker. So a lot of common parts there. Now, what will look a little different is this front piston-shaped piece here with an O-ring around the back side of it, and then the airline adapter here is obviously a different geometry for this gun. Other than that, all pretty familiar. In order to do the installation, we need everything completely torn down, all the spring and piston removed from the existing cylinder, and we're just going to need the existing cylinder here with the cylinder handle attached. Now, with this gun, instead of making a complete replacement cylinder head, what we've opted to do is to make an insert that actually will fit inside the cylinder and just press up inside the cylinder there and sit flush against the cylinder head. Before we install it, we're going to want to get some of that lubricant, and we're going to want to lubricate the large O-ring around the outside a little bit. to make installation easier. And then we're going to want to lubricate the shaft on the back portion here. Now we're going to take this and put the shaft inside the opening on the front of the Bolt M. Now we're going to use the engine. We're going to seat that piston all the way flush up against the front of the cylinder. And there you go. It's installed. Easy enough. Now we're just going to put everything in the gun. First, we're going to reinstall the cylinder. Now we're going to take the engine, simply slide it straight in. The airline is going to get routed down through that hole that we just drilled. It can be trimmed to any length that you want it. Now, in order to install the plate, what we're going to do is we're going to actually pull the center shaft of the engine back a little bit so that the airline, so that the shaft comes through the center, and then we can install the plate and then push the airline into place. Next plate just snaps on, and then your butt pad. And you're done. Now, to remove the unit from the gun, what we're going to do is we're going to first remove the butt pad. That's as normal. Now, you remember that hole that we drilled in the second plate? That is going to let us push forward on the engine a bit, push it out of the way so that we can then remove the plate. You're probably going to have to pull the trigger, push forward, and there you go. Now, we can use the bolt, again, to push the engine back, which will allow us to remove the last plate. And one more time, reassembly. Plate slides over the airline, which is installed. And then the last two plates just install normally. So that's it for the installation of the Bolt M in the SRS from Silverback. Hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section below, and we'll do our best to get back to you. Thanks for watching, guys.